Good evening, Wildcats. It's Principal Brooks here. We wanted to send out a message as we prepare to return face to face for some of our students and get back to the regular school year. Wanted to address a few things as we prepare to return so that everyone is on the same page with what's going on the campus. And so I wrote down a couple of notes, so I'm going to be referring to those notes as I talk to you in this video. The first thing that I want to discuss is the returning of school safely back in the building. A couple of the things that we have instituted in the way of being safe on our campus is that we are going to conduct temperature checks for everyone coming into the building. That includes our staff, which we have been doing for the past 2 days, and then starting tomorrow with all of the students that return into the building, we will be doing temperature checks on them as well. And so if a student is found to have a temperature of 100 or more, then that student's parent or guardian will be called for that student to be picked up, and so as to, again, keep everyone else safe in the building. The other thing is that we're going to strictly enforce the mask wearing rule. We did a lot of reminding of our students during the course of the first semester to put their mask on, and for several students it was constant that we had to tell students or remind students to put their mask on or pull their mask up or whatever the case may be. And so I want to make sure that every parent and guardian understands me today that we will not continue to constantly remind students to wear their masks. If we find that to be the case for these students or any other student for that matter, we're going to be calling parents and letting parents know that because a student refuses to properly wear their mask, they are going to be deemed a virtual student and they won't be allowed to return face to face. It's just the nature of where we are right now in our country and in our local community as we see the cases surging in Bexar County. And so we can't afford to allow students not to follow protocol. And so the next thing that I want to talk about is academic progress with our students. To put it bluntly, we have a lot of students who are failing. And a lot of those students are failing, the majority of those students are failing because they are not turning in assignments. It's one thing for a student to not understand a concept and need their teacher to either reteach or provide some type of tutoring so that they can go over the things that the student may not have understood. That is why we're here. That is what our teachers are expected to do. But when we have students with 5, 6, 7 missing assignments, and that is the reason that they're failing, then there's very little that a teacher can do to help that situation. The first 9 weeks of school, we did a lot of dropping of assignments. Our teachers did everything they could to help students pass the first 9 weeks. Many of my teachers bumped students' grades up, gave them extra things to do in order to bring their grades up. But it seems that there is a sentiment amongst our students that they're not going to fail us. They're not going to give us an F or whatever the case. And I want to make sure everyone understands and knows that this is where we are in education. And so education has not stopped. School has not stopped. We have to deal with what we have right now. And so if students have chosen to not engage in school, then all we can do is give them the grade that they've earned. And so parents, guardians, I am asking you, I'm begging you to help us, help your child, help your student to be successful in school. I don't know what else my teachers can do to help your student be successful. If they don't do the work, then there's nothing that my teachers can do to help them. And so I'm asking parents to check in with your students and make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing as far as the assignments are concerned, with their teachers and requiring them to do whatever work. Teachers are more than willing to help our students. But again, if the students don't engage, if the students don't put forth any effort, then there's really nothing that we can do to help them. And so again, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Parents and guardians and teachers are all on the same team, that we want to be a help to your student. We want our students to be successful. It does us no good for all of our students to fail. And so we need to work together to make sure that our students are doing the best they can and putting forth the maximum effort possible in order to be successful. Otherwise, and I need everyone to hear me clearly on this, otherwise, the student is going to earn the grade, or going to get the grade that they earn. And if that grade happens to be a failing grade, then that is what it's going to be. But what we will be able to do is say that we did everything we could to assist that student in being successful. And so parents, guardians, help us out. I want to ask parents to have a conversation with your students this evening to make sure that they are following our rules tomorrow as it relates to safety in the school. We are going to be very strict. We are going to be very serious about the safety in our school. And if any student is violating that, a parent or guardian will be called to come and pick a student up because they're failing to follow the guidelines that we have set. That is all that I wanted to say this evening. I hope everyone had a great holiday season. I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. And as we end this first semester, next Friday will be the last day of the first semester. We want to go into that second semester with a clean slate, making sure that all of our students have everything that they need to be successful. So thank you very much. Look forward to seeing our students tomorrow in the building and those virtually on our Zoom calls. Take care. Have a great evening.